I'm gonna do a Mrs. Doubtfire, but with football.
We got a banger on our hands.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Love the show so much. I just want to start with, obviously, we see Russ kind of look at the Mrs. Doubtfire poster, and that's his inspiration. But what other inspirations do you think are present in this series? Michael said a little bit of Eastbound and Down, and I didn't realize how much I did get that vibe a bit.
There's definitely that's a good tonal comp, I think, for the comedy of like what we're going for. Also, there's some good baseball scenes in Eastbound and Down, but ours is much more focused. They kind of stay in a high school where we're kind of built in like a much more cinematic landscape, in my opinion. Like I think we had a little bit of a tonal tightrope to balance to make sure the football was kind of sold as equally as the comedy.
Right.
You know, but I think like Bull Durham was an interesting one on the romance. You know, Rudy, as far as an underdog story, Tin Cup is probably someone who's kind of their own worst enemy.
I'm trying to think of other college football. Everybody's All-American.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights.
But they're always kind of like older. It's kind of more period.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like Rudy's like it's not about college football today.
No.
Yeah,
No, it's like a different thing. I mean, also we were kind of playing with, you know, that spirit of like those old sports movies that we all like loved. Mm-hmm. And just like, honestly, like you have like even like a movie like Soap Dish, right? Where you have like a world colliding with another world, or Tootsie, or any of these things. It's like throwing these things where you're kind of like, because we're throwing the world of Hollywood prosthetics into a world of college football, you know, colliding these things, and then also trying to honor what it is now, which is like the fact that like college football is like a big business, you know, and a guy like this could be on the hot seat because players are transferring out and you're losing top tier quarterbacks, and that you'd have to do a tryout like this. It's trying to play with all those dynamics, but yeah, there's a lot of good inspirations. I think it's the Vitamix of all my favorite things.
The Vitamix. Yeah. It is like the comeback story if he were a dickhead.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
And you can't sit in anything too long. You have to rush through it. Because the minute you start explaining too much, it's like, wait a second. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I have to get a breakdown, maybe a demo if you're up for it, of this accent. How did you find it? How did you hone in on it? And what was your reaction to hearing it, seeing it for the first time?
No, I could barely. I have a big problem breaking on set.
Like you break a lot.
I do. And then if it's really truly funny, I couldn't. There's a lot of scenes that I couldn't really get through.
What was the number
so
one?
Funny.
Do you think?
The bus probably because it was late and I just couldn't. I couldn't even look at him.
Yeah, I had to get him to turn around.
I was like,
while
don't
I was
look
like,
at me. I was like, man, I can't even do this. But then you'd start talking, like, oh man.
There's also, you know, what's really fun is we had a great writer's room. So like, you know, what you try to do is like, as you know, you have like the scene, but then you kind of infuse it with like a little bit of new life. So you have people whispering things in your ear every once in a while. And Zahn, I gotta say, you know, my favorite thing is like they'd whisper things for me to say in my ear, or I'd just like improv some stuff, and just seeing his eyes light up like when I would say something, it would kill him, because I knew like for the next 10 minutes we were gonna have to just like catch our breath.
It wasn't even it was just that resting face of yours that was like
a dumbass face.
You were like a puppet.
Yeah. It's so dumb. It's because also trying to take yourself seriously. Like, you're a grown man wearing prosthetics and doing this dumbass accent.
Like,
the funniest thing is, like, you can't, like, that's when people are like, as an actor, like, you know, taking yourself seriously. I'm like, I'm sitting here in prosthetics doing this stupid.
And it's crazy because even just a normal job, you're like, are people gonna believe this?
It's the craziest
Let alone
thing.
playing some really crazy character.
So funny, yeah. We had a good time.
Also, not your first character named Chad.
No.
I fear Russ Holiday and Chad Radwell ever meeting.
I mean, that's a douchebag Olympics. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a Senorita Awesome season.
Douchebag Olympics, which is what they call this interview room.
Yeah, douchebag.
Yeah. I'm here too. What did he tweet about Princess Diana, do we think?
That's a great question. You know, we got so many notes on like that. Like people would ask us like from from the higher ups would always be like, "So wait, what did he tweet?" I'm like, "It doesn't matter. He just tweeted something."
Yeah, it
They're
doesn't
like,
matter.
But what did he? I'm like, it doesn't matter.
It's kind of great though.
I love the fact that people are always wondering about his tweets. Like we all know the person where it's like, "Oh, you got away with that tweet." And you're like, "Oh."
I love the idea that he's just like a conspiracy theorist over on his socials.
We loved like just the fact that like we all know those people when bad things happen, they sort of don't take accountability. They think the world's conspiring against them.
Yeah.
And that's what like a great conspiracy theorist is like someone who just like goes, hey, instead of just saying I'm sorry, like maybe don't double down on like the craziest deep parts of the web.
It's easier, right?
Yeah.
What do you think Coach Hudson's social media looks like if he has one at all?
That's cat memes.
Dude, yeah, there are people down the hall that run that. I have no idea. No idea. Hey, Coach, is it okay if I don't care. As long as he does not care.
I imagine Trisha took over his accounts.
But yeah, it's got to be some college kids that are like hired on to like, Coach, your social media is blowing up. Yeah, who cares?
We need some game day tweets.
He's an old school guy, man.
He's very old
like,
school.
And that's why he's having, he's trouble with this new world of college football, which you go from like a mentor leader and then take on the role of a CEO.
You're right.
Of a big company. And you just, 10 years ago, a head coach of football, D1, had three months off. Right?
Yeah.
Probably February, March, April. You could really do whatever you wanted. Not anymore.
No, it's a different era.
This might be just my brain, but I definitely speak in just movie and TV quotes. I'm a sponge. I don't have my own personality. And there's a lot of things in this show where I'm like, I could see this integrating into my vocab.
Yeah.
Do you have any earworms already from this show that have just been like, oh, I say this now?
That's a good question. I mean, people in my life, I just say this one time. I say, okie dokie. That's how that people do that.
You have
all
a
the
bunch
time.
of little things.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little.
Wait, there's a couple. Okie dokie. What do you say when I'm getting something in the car? Maybe when you pull a car up.
When I pull
the car, and I was like, "Is that when you say
hospital?
that?" No, in front of the house when I'm at the
Oh, all aboard?
That made me laugh.
All aboard?
All aboard. That's what's great about this show is like there's these moments that are absolutely real horrific kind of like drama filled, and then there's this weird humor on top of it, just like a little sprinkle.
Well, I'm cracking up about a kid getting punched into a wheel. Like,
Yeah,
it's
so
just-
true.
Yeah. I will say one of my earworms of life is you don't have to do the sound.
Yeah,
It already does that, man.
does that.
I'm curious how much you think about Or Saving Silverman has brought up to you. I've never interviewed you before, and it's one of my favorite movies.
I love that. And Jack and I were just talking about it because we did Anaconda together.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you remember? He was like, I totally remember. I remember that we did that during rehearsal and we laughed at it. So we did it in the thing.
It really
'Cause
is
we were
one of
like,
the great-
we were just rehearsing going like, hey man. Like we have to do the.
That's so funny. It really, that's the first time I've heard that. That's amazing. I love it. That movie's so good.
It's so good. Like, I can't imagine, like, every time you hear Neil Diamond, you're not like, ba, ba, da, 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 da.
I think of that movie a lot.
Yeah.
I really do.
Oh, I love it. Glenn, I will not let your Captain Planet script die, and I think the only thing I can do from this side of the table is to keep bringing it up in interviews. What do you need? What do I do? What do we do?
That one's no longer in my hands.
Really?
Yeah. They're gonna take it and run with it. I wish them the best on that one. I look, I've been a passionate fan of Captain Planet since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Obviously some things that you make in this town sort of find their way quickly, and some of them don't. And there was a lot of rights holders and things like that around it. A lot of opinions. So I'm no longer the guy running with the baton, but they're gonna make something great. I'm sure.
I see. Such is the way.
I'm sure it's a different quarterback with frosted tips and a cubic zirconia stud.
Well, it's real.